The truth is, most of us are living in a constant state of distraction. I know I'm guilty of that, and it's costing us more than we realize. The very tools that we use to really run our companies and connect with our teams and grow our brands are often the same things holding us back from creating the life that we're meant to live and really growing. The average person checks their phone almost 100 times a day. Entrepreneurs probably double that. And between email and Slack and Zoom and social media, constant notifications, we're on nonstop loop. The point isn't deprivation. The point is to actually create space, right? It's space for ideas, space for clarity, space for your mind to actually recover and relax and get creative again. Clarity is a competitive advantage. And the leaders who stay focused and calm in a noisy, distracted world, attention is the new currency. But your attention for yourself has got to be a superpower. All right, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. My name is George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you went even one full hour without looking at your phone? Not just putting it down, but actually being fully present, from all of the alerts and text messages and pings from social media and scrolling. The truth is, most of us are living in a constant state of distraction. I know I'm guilty of that, and it's costing us more than we realize. Today, I want to talk to you about digital detox, even, maybe even in small doses, but ways that you can unlock a lot of clarity, creativity, and focus in your life and in your business. So, if you're like most entrepreneurs, executives, or business owners, your phone is your office, your laptop is your lifeline, and your notifications feel sort of like oxygen. But here's the paradox. The very tools that we use to really run our companies and connect with our teams and grow our brands are often the same things holding us back from creating the life that we're meant to live and really growing, even growing in the area that we think we're being productive. And I'm not talking about throwing away your device or disappearing into some cabin out in the woods. I'm not talking about going off the grid. I'm talking about intentional resets, digital detoxes that give your brain a chance to recharge, refocus, and create at the highest level. See, I've noticed this a lot in my life as well. Recently, when I'm trying to do different things, my brain just doesn't turn off. Now, I've kind of had that problem most of my life, but it's definitely gotten worse. And, the real problem here that we're looking at is the average person checks their phone almost 100 times a day. Entrepreneurs probably double that. And between email and Slack and Zoom and social media, constant notifications, we're on nonstop loop. And we're reacting to all of these different things. And so what happens when we live this way is we lose the ability to really focus and do deep work. It's hard to focus. If you've ever, gone out to a restaurant, screens are going, people are talking, you just have a hard time focusing when you're in this mode. And what happens is our creativity drops because our brain never has space to actually wander and be creative because it's constantly given things. And another thing I've noticed, and this is a fact, decision fatigue will definitely set in. We burn energy and, these tiny choices all the time are eating up our ability to make big decisions. And ultimately, our relationships, our health, our clarity, all of it takes a hit. And so I don't know if that sounds familiar to any of you. It definitely is my life at many times. And I've caught myself working, for hours just to realize that I've been bouncing between email, news, half-finished tasks, people calling me, all without actually producing deep, productive, meaningful results, right? The results that really take your business to the next level. And so what is a reset? What digital detox can you really do? What does it mean? Well, what a digital detox actually looks like, first, let me say this. It doesn't have to mean, disappearing for a month or going offline for a week or tossing your phone in the ocean, which could be something that might be the best thing that ever happened to some of us. But a detox can kind of happen at several levels. As I've really been thinking about this, you could take micro breaks. So this would be, just small daily practices, things you put in your daily rituals, like no phone during eating or starting your morning without the first 30 minutes to an hour having any screen time. Like these little rituals that train your brain to slow down are kind of like micro breaks. And then you could implement focused blocks. This is something that I'm starting to do quite a bit. And this is when you set intentional, deep work time. You turn off all your notifications, you close your email, you put your phone in another room, and you just focus on one thing for a 90-minute block. Sometimes it takes a little bit to kind of get into it. You'd be amazed what happens when you remove distractions. And then there's these like macro resets. These are the bigger plays, like a whole weekend with no tech, a retreat where you leave your device behind, or just maybe a full Sunday where you go offline and you just disappear from the digital overload. The point isn't deprivation. The point is to actually create space, right? It's space for ideas, space for clarity, space for your mind to actually recover and relax and get creative again. And I can tell you, the more I've been studying this, it makes a big difference. Why? Why you're probably asking, why does this really matter? Look, everybody talks about it all the time, but when you do this, there are major, major benefits. You start to notice a new level of creativity. Ideas just appear when your brain isn't being bombarded. You actually give it a chance to work. You make better business decisions because you're not rushing and reacting. You're thinking and strategically making those decisions. Your relationships improve because you're present with the people around you. And maybe the biggest one, you actually feel less overloaded, less anxious, more in control of your life. So think of it this way. Clarity has always been a competitive advantage. Brendon Burchard talks about it. Most high achievers talk about it. Clarity is a competitive advantage. And the leaders who stay focused and calm in a noisy, distracted world, that's a leader that actually wins. And so I want you to really think about how you can do this. Let's talk about some action steps for you. First, try to put this in practice in your life this week. There are 3 things that you could maybe do. Pick, one daily no screen ritual. Maybe it's your first 30 minutes in the morning without a phone. Maybe it's putting your phone away during dinner, but just pick one thing that you can start to do that'll start to buy back some of your time from digital overwhelm. And then schedule one deep work block. Put a 90-minute section in your calendar where there's literally no notifications or phone. Protect it like it's a meeting with yourself. Just overwhelm your ability to focus. And then, finally, maybe pick a half day on Sunday or just an evening where you go fully offline. Turn your phone off. Use that time to think and reflect and, be present with people. I'm not talking about a movie or something like that. I'm talking about really disconnecting from digital overwhelm. And I think you'd be surprised how much this will kind of start to shift and bring your awareness back and, reduce your overwhelm. And so the overall takeaway I want you to have with this episode is a digital detox is not about disconnecting. It's about reconnecting. Think about that for a minute. Reconnect with yourself, with your ideas, with your vision, with your building, your business, your relationships. If you're serious about elevating your focus and your clarity, this strength that you need in business and your results, you've got to start by reclaiming control over your attention. Attention is the new currency, but your attention for yourself is got to be a superpower. So remember, success is not about doing more sometimes. It's about being more present with what matters most. And so I hope this topic to start the week is something that you'll take to heart, because it's really something that, even though it seems like you're putting things off, will really empower you to regroup, rebound, and also get clear on what it is that you're supposed to be focused on. So I hope that's a topic that'll help you. I really would love to hear from you. Hit me up on the Daily Mastermind on Instagram, Facebook. Let me know what you're working on. If you head over to authoritymedianetwork.com, you're going to be able to see we've got some new free assets on there to help you increase your authority. But more than anything else, if you'll share this show, I'd appreciate it. And I appreciate you being here with me and joining us for the Daily Mastermind. Once again, my name is George Wright III. Have an amazing day.